Cool. All right, welcome to another episode of Militia Madness MTG. Today we're starting our What If series. So, I think we've talked about this on both the podcast and several episodes before, that the format doesn't allow for the Khans colored wedges or whatever they are. Yeah. So what, and Morgan and I were tinkering for a while about like, how would we incorporate that, or like how would we showcase what those decks could do if in theory. And we went through a bunch of ideas. At one point it was your commander was like, for me it would be black, white, red, 0-1. And that's all it was. It was just a thing that sat here. You could cast or whatever. And then we were like, why don't we make them 3/3s so they're at least like bodies you could cast. And then we were like, let's just make a Sharpie, and to the Mardu uncommon creatures or the Jeskai or whatever, just put the word legendary. Like, pretend they're legends. So that's what we're doing. I'm playing Sonic Shrieker because I don't remember what the other one does, but it wasn't good enough. So I'm playing Sonic Shrieker. 5 mana, 4/4 flying. It deals 2 damage to any target, and you gain 2 life when it comes into play. And if a player was dealt this damage this way, they discard a card. Really, I was just looking for an excuse to play 3 cards, one of which was Experimental Synthesizer, one of which was Refurbished Familiar, and the third was Core Skyfisher. This is just the package of cards I really, really wanted to play. This is actually a deck in Pauper, like Mardu Synthesizer is a thing. There was a Shuffle Up and Play where I think Gavin Verhey played it, and he was like, this is my favorite deck to play in Pauper, and I'm like, right there with you, brother. I love this, just getting so much value off of bouncing things off of course, Skyfisher. You're on an artifact package, you're on like the best artifacts in the format, and you just get to play these 3 cards, and that's what I did. We do have other artifacts. Kind of relevant to me is Retrofitted Transmigrant. This does a couple things for the deck. One, it gives you a threat that's resilient to removal. 2, it also means that your artifact sacrifice package is a little bit better. I think I like this better in Black-Red Madness when you can discard it and stuff. But just being a cheap artifact that counts towards a Refurbished Familiar count, you can get it off of Militia Bugler and you can sacrifice it to draw 2 cards. Goodbye. It'll come back. Blood Fountain, Grim Bauble, Nihil Spellbomb. Not a lot of these are going to show up on the screen right now because I've explained them in other deck texts before. Thank you, Morgan. Limbus, Mephitic Draft. Again, really staple artifacts of the format. Nihil Spellbomb, not so much in the main deck, but I can, so I am. Tithing Blade, pretty staple. Carrot Cake, pretty staple for me in the white decks. Ichor Wellspring, and then that's like the staple artifact package. Not really much to say about this. These are just the artifacts that you play. And then I wanted a couple more creatures to combo with Refurbished Familiar and the Militia Bugler in my deck. So I'm playing Scrapwork Mutt. Morgan's played this a couple times, and I think it's fine. Again, I think it's much better when the discard matters, but it is a May, so you can just put it into play and not do it. And the other one is Wreckage Wickerfolk. 2 mana flyer, so it's good with Basilisk Gate. Spoiler, I'm on Basilisk Gate. But it also like surveils 2, which means like it's another way just to filter through cards. Drawing 2 cards is really good. Drawing 3 cards is even better. Drawing 2 cards and having done something, even better. These can sacrifice creatures. Remember that? Thraben Inspector and friends get outclassed on the board very quickly. It's a lightning bolt. I'm playing a lightning bolt. Yeah. That's the only of the lightning bolt family that I'm playing. I'm not on Chain Lightning and I'm not on Galvanic Discharge. Mostly because in that slot I have this Galvanic Blast. I mean, I'm on artifacts. This is just better than those 2 cards some amount of the time. Journey to Nowhere. It's the best white removal spell in our format. I'm playing it. Go for the Throat. Cast Down. They're the best black removal spells in our format. I'm playing them. I don't like Guardian of the Guild Pact. I don't like Guardian of the Guild Pact. This is not relevant for this matchup, but dealing 4 damage. Very relevant. You'll notice 4 is an important number against defenders. And then this just kills anything. So we're on a couple of redundant pardon the proxy. It's from Edge of Eternities, and we're gonna miss that set in terms of playing it. So like, I don't think I own any Edge of Eternities cards. But Exosuit Savior and Glint Hawk, just really good. This is a May as well. Return up to 1, so you don't have to do it. But I just want a little bit more redundancy with the core Skyfisher effects. You could play like White Mane Lion, or I wouldn't play White Mane Lion, but there's an Avery mechanic that's 2 mana. I would love to find room for this, but room for that guy. I don't really care about bouncing just creatures, which is why like White Mane Lion I don't think is playable. I want the options to bounce artifacts, which is why Glint Hawk made it in. But if you wanted to play Avery Mechanic over Glint Hawk, I think that's a perfectly reasonable and justifiable thing. This freaking card. I'm on Militia Bugler. I have lots of targets. I'm playing it. It's just these. Also, with Basilisk Gate, you kind of care less if you hit or not. Just a 2/3 Vigilance that comes down early, and you can bounce is just really good with Basilisk Gate. I'm playing Blind Hunter because this is my Ferocious Werefox. I really like this card. I like being able to find it off Militia Bugler. I like it in the mid-range aggressive decks. Just being able to gain 4 life and hit them for 4 is really, really good. So I'm playing it. Curse and Marauder, I feel like this is pretty standard. I can like sacrifice a 1-drop that doesn't matter anymore, bounce this later, and then play it again. Which is decent. The Inspector Squad. Honorary Inspector. But, you know, you're always playing these together when you can. So, don't really feel like I need to play that. Mardu Devotee. A card that is actually, fun fact, not legal in our format because of color identity. There is no commander that can play this because of the black, red, and white in its rules text. But I can. So I am. I think this is probably the most playable Devotee in our format just because scrying 2 on impact is just really good.
You know, I forgot to even look at the Team Redeemer, to be honest.
It's not good. I don't remember what it does, but it's on the screen. Laugh at it. I'm on Guardian of the Guild Pact because I'm on Basilisk Gate, and this is like the best Basilisk Gate target in the format. Outlaw Medic and Sacred Cat, these are very cuttable, to be honest. They're probably going to come out in this matchup, but I wanted to be suited against other aggressively slanted mid-range decks. And these are both just really, really good at that. This also gives you another, like, Fanatical Offering Ancestral Recall target, because you can Fanatical Offering or Deadly Dispute this and still get your draw 3. And then Sacred Cat's just decent. Anybody who's played Call Gates knows how decent this card is.
I played it in Standard.
Cool.
Yeah, there was like a pseudo Boggles deck in Standard at that point.
2 of the Cyclers just because I'm only on 7 targets. If I was on 1 more basic, I'd play Oliphant. But I'm not. So I'm on those. Navigation Orb. I forgot Expedition Map was a common for like all of the history. And I'm not saying cut this for Expedition Map. I would play this in addition to Expedition Map because Basilisk Gate is just that important against certain matchups. Also World Map. But World Map is 4 mana to go find Basilisk Gate. And finding basics is a joke. It's not real. You have 4 of them. Like, it's not a high priority thing you need to do. So I probably look at playing both of those cards in addition. And maybe cutting, like, throwing Outlaw Medic and Sacred Cat in the sideboard. But, I like, as I was building this, I found that the space was, like, really, really tight. Because I'm not, like, locked into, like, a combo or something like that. Like, any removal spell available to me, I could play it. Any threat available to me, I could play it. So, Basilisk Gate and friends. I've talked enough about this card. I think we've both talked enough about this card. Very defining card of the format. If we were to do a podcast about like cards that you should invest in and the order you should invest in, this is a high priority card for sure. Just buying this and then every gate and you're set. Because I think every color could build a Basilisk Gate deck. the indestructible artifact lands, and then the dual type lands. These to make Troll and Eagle work, and then these to make Refurbished Familiar and Galvanic Blast work. This is the most suspect card in the whole deck. I honestly think you could cut this and then play. It was weird because it made tensions really weird. Because if I cut this and add another basic, now this gets better. Now that I've got it, so I want it back. But so I ended up just playing it instead of the 5th basic, just because earlier in the game, if you draw it, it is a tri-land, which is just really, really good, and it helps. Helps with that. And then later in the game, it's better than the basic because just being able to cycle it is really, really good. And then in the mid game, you can just put it into play and then keep tapping it until you need that colored mana source. So I did think this was better than the 5th basic. But again, this more than any other deck profile on the channel is a template showing you the package you could play. Because again, I had versions where I was on Pact Altera. I had versions where I was on like Glaze Fiend even. Just a bunch of different removal spells. There was like Galvanic Discharge build. There was even like a version where I was playing Faithless Looting and a lot more Madness stuff as my threat package. But I wanted to play Core Skyfisher, Experimental Synthesizer, and Refurbished Familiar. So I built the deck towards playing those cards. How did you predict the blasts? The blasts. Okay. The Monarch. The Monarch. The Heliod's Pilgrim. So I'm playing Heliod's Pilgrim and 3 auras. 1 to shut off commanders, 1 to shut off big guys, and 1 to win races. That's essentially it. You bring in this package a lot as a package. Very rarely will you do like this or this. Oftentimes when you're resulting to the Heliod's Pilgrim, you just bring in all 4. Probably not going to happen against the Walls deck. Although I might, because this does shut down activated abilities. Crypt Rats and Eli Trickery are my board wipes of choice. This is searchable off of Militia Bugler, or findable off of Militia Bugler, which is why I'm on it. I value the instant speed of them as well. Unmake for when Guardian of the Guildpex got you down. Also against Gurmag Angler and just big dumb idiots in general. This is okay. This is another Graveyard Hate that does more things. You're on Nihil Spell Bombs. You don't really need that much more, but it's fair. Trainer's Edict, just a very, very versatile removal spell. I bring this in against mid-range decks and stuff like that. And then Patrician Scorn, which I bring in against Boggles. That's my whole sidebar. This is just my tokens. My lovely, lovely tokens. My proxy token. But I couldn't find a Samurai to save my freaking life. Even in the deck that has Experimental Synthesizer in it, didn't have a Samurai token.
You don't pop it for that ability very often.
You do not, but I do need it. Yeah, that's Mardu. And I guess we'll see in the gameplay where I'm going to Mardu it. Like, comment, subscribe.